All right. So it is called the système, and you need the E because it's French. And there's an accent grave over the E. Système international. But you do not ever have to say that again. Because I, of course, would make you say it in an outrageous French accent, which, isn't very nice. It is actually called the SI system.
What is the TION?
ALE.
How do I spell it? INT?
It doesn't matter, guys. The SI is what's important. The SI system was developed in France in the French Revolution in the 1700s because people were sick and tired of the local noble person telling them how much they had to pay in taxes. Because every noble had their own measurement system. And if you were a farmer and you had to bring your corn from your farm into Paris, you had to pay 1 million different taxes. Because every noble would tax you when you walked through. And they would all measure your corn differently. So part of the French Revolution was to standardize measurement, which is what they did. Now, of course, they standardized it into this system, and this system is based upon our counting system, which is base 10. Everything, and please highlight or underline the word everything, is in factors of 10. Everything. Kilograms, grams, centigrams, kilometers, meters, centimeters. Everything is in tens. And it works for everything, whether you're measuring weight, mass, volume, distance. It is all in chunks of 10, no matter what we're measuring. And it is the system that 197 countries in the United Nations use. Everywhere in the world uses this except 3 countries. Unfortunately, one of them is the United States.
One of them is our neighbor, and one of them is our mother country.
Nope. Nope. Britain's metric.
Oh. Well, they were imperial at one point.
Yeah, they were. So was Canada until 1971. The imperial system is what is used in the U.S. and in 2 other countries in the world that I bet nobody could even find on a map. Myanmar and Liberia.
I know both. I know at least one of those things.
Liberia is a small country in Africa that was invented for slaves to go home to. It's on the cone of Africa, on the southern tip. And Myanmar is up by India. It used to be called Burma. Those 3 countries are the only countries that are continuing to hold on to the imperial system. But we use it in Canada in a couple of things. What do we use it for? Yeah, we use it for carpentry. We still use inches and feet. Your house is measured in square feet. We still say that. Now, if you go elsewhere in the world, it's not. I was just in Ecuador, and if you buy a house, all the signs tell you how many square meters the house is. None of them had feet. Moret, in Germany, did anybody use feet for anything? No. See, not for anything. Your house is in square meters, right? Yeah, we still use square feet. I know, but you'll never convince the Americans to change over. It's stupid.
Like they use miles and we use...
They use miles, we use kilometers, which I have a funny story about that, and I'll tell it to you if we have time. What else do we use imperial for? Measuring height and? No? Weight. Height and weight, we still use imperial. None of you know how tall you are in centimeters. None of you know what your weight in kilograms are, except probably Moret. Now, if I say to Moret, hey, Moret, I'm 5'8", does that mean anything to you? No, but if I say to you I'm 176 centimeters, does that, see? Right away.
What?
Now, Ariana, if I say to you I'm 176 centimeters tall, you go, what the hell does that mean? But if I say 5'8", oh, okay. Right? So we use it for carpentry, height, and weight. But even that's not official. When you go and get your driver's license, they're going to ask you your height and your weight, and you're going to give it to them in feet and inches and pounds. And they're going to go to a little chart and convert it over. When I went for my last driver's license, I know my height in centimeters and my weight in kilograms because of teaching this class. So I told her my height. I said 176 centimeters. And at the time, I weighed 83 kilograms. And she went to her chart anyway. She pulled the chart out and she starts going. And I say, no, I gave it to you in centimeters and kilos. Oh, thanks. And then she looked at me and asked my hair color.
Why?
Because my hair color from 5 years ago, my license still said brown. Not anymore.
What is weight spelled?
W-E-I-G-H-T. Same as height, even though height doesn't follow the I before E except after C rule, which is a stupid rule. Now, what is the imperial system based upon?
Was it Liberia or Nigeria that also used it?
Liberia. Nigeria is not a country. Algeria is a country. Way. So, what is it based on? Yep, it's based on body parts. And why is that stupid? Everyone's got different sizes. If Shaquille O'Neal were measuring your height with his foot, he wears a size 24 shoe. So I'm like 2.5 feet tall of him. But if my sister-in-law was measuring my height with her foot, her feet are about this big. I'm like 9 feet tall. She wears a size 4.5 shoe. And she's an adult woman who's almost as tall as me. It's so funny. She's normal, and then has cartoon little feet. Now, my wife is 5'4", pretty short. She has canoe feet. My wife wears a size 10 shoe. I know, right? All the ladies are like, I know, right? In the last class, I told that story. I said, my wife wears a size 10 shoe, and somebody at the back says, I wear a size 10 shoe. She was getting all angry, but she's like almost 6 feet tall. And I said, yeah, but my wife's 5'4". Oh. My wife can water ski on her feet. It's hilarious. She's normal, and it's really funny when she has to be like a bridesmaid or something because I got to wear the fancy little shoes, and all the other bridesmaids have little tiny shoes, and my wife has canoes. Damn it! I remembered to stop recording that in last class. I recorded it this class. My wife doesn't watch my YouTube. She knows.
It was originally based off the king's foot, but the question is, which king's foot are
Exactly.
we using nowadays?
Exactly. You can't do it. All right. Yeah. Okay. So here I've got the two systems. The SI is the first one. Now, all of these are distances, right? But the SI system works for weight, volume, everything. It's always the same. It uses these same measurements. Milli, centimeter, kilo. Now, I have chosen these four because in Canada, that's all we use. Now, if you were to go to Europe and pick up a can of pop, it would say 33 CL. Centiliters. Our cans of pop are 355 milliliters. We don't use centiliters, but they do. Same with decimeters. We say I'm 176 You don't really use decimeters? They do in carpentry, because my buddy was building a house over there. But you can use them, right? We don't ever say something is 10 decimeters, ever. You never use it? Okay. Not even centiliters is used, though, isn't it, Murat? Centiliters, yeah. Okay, so these are the four that we use. There are 8 that we use fairly well, and you guys know them from computers. Mega, giga, tera, right? And going smaller, deci, centi, milli, pico, or nano, pico. But we only use, not in computers, but they're used in like biology. We only use these 4. So they're the ones that I'm most concerned about. A referent. A referent is what you use to tell me, for yourself, to judge a distance. You refer to something else. Like if I ask you, how long's a millimeter, and you don't have a ruler, tell me how long a millimeter is. Millimeter. So you're right, it's 0.1 of a centimeter. Okay, now Moret, how long is a centimeter? 10 millimeters. 0.1 of a meter. But that doesn't help if you don't know what it really is, right? So a referent is something you use to guess that distance. And I'm going to do the first one for you guys so you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I say it's the thickness of a fingernail. Now, that's not exact, but all of you have fingernails. So if I say that bacteria is 2 millimeters across, you can say, oh, okay, a millimeter. All right, I got it. Picking up what I'm putting down? So now I want you guys to come up with these 3 reference. Don't say them out loud. Talk to your neighbor for a second. Fill in these 3 boxes. They're not going to necessarily be the same for everyone because everybody's going to have their own idea of how long these things are. I'm going somewhere with this, so work with me. Fill in the 3 boxes. Take a couple of seconds. Go. Nope. That's the whole point of it, Jeremy. Okay, we're back. Who has a referent for a centimeter for me? Moret. Pinky width? Let's check. Oh, mine is 1.5. But is that okay? Yes, because it's to show you about what it is. And again, I'm going somewhere with this, so work with me. Now, in the other class, one of the girls who sits at the front, her pinky was exactly 1 centimeter wide. It was perfect. Okay, who has something for a meter? Length of a leg? Okay, that's cool. Who else has one? Length of your arm? Okay. Jeremy? Okay, so half a person. Okay. Anybody got anything else? Moret? 1 step. For me, it's almost exactly a step, actually. So for me, my referent is a step or a stride.
Because a step is like you're barely stepping. A stride is...
I disagree. But you can have your opinion. For me, it's a step. The reason I'm doing this, and I told you I was going somewhere with it, was let's say you did a whole bunch of math. And I asked you to work out a distance somewhere. And you did a whole bunch of math. And for example, I said, how far is it to Chilliwack? And you did a bunch of math. And you told me that Chilliwack is 250 meters away. You did all the math, and all your math was correct. You did the right computations. You came up with this answer. Now, because you know that a meter is about a step, would you hand that in as the right answer? No, you wouldn't. But some of you will. Because I am going to give you questions that do this. And you're going to do a crap ton of math, and you're going to give me an answer that makes no sense. Or I'll say, how tall is that window? And one of you will say, 18 meters. You laugh, Dan, but I've been teaching this course for 20 years. You guys will do this. That's why I am stressing this referent thing right now. So you know if your answer makes sense. Everybody with me? All right, now the last one. Why is kilometer hard to get a referent for? You don't have anything that's a kilometer long, so how are you going to do it? Pardon me? Drive a car? Sure, if you're driving a car at 60 kilometers an hour, you go to a kilometer in 1 minute. So if you're driving around the city, you drive for 1 minute in a straight line, you've gone about a kilometer. Good job. You could also do it with walking or running, right? How long does it take you to run around Mill Lake? Haven't you guys had to do the run around Mill Lake for phys ed? 4 minutes? It's about a kilometer around Mill Lake. So for Dan, 4 minutes. Yeah. So, again, what's the point I'm trying to make here? Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes your referent has to be measured by something else. Yes? Like the amount of time you're driving or something like that. Moret.
Isn't that around soccer field?
Yep.
It's 400 meters.
Yep.
So you have 2 rounds.
Twice 2 laps of a soccer field. How long it takes you to run that. That's a perfect example. Track. 2.5 times around a track is a kilometer. But the point I'm trying to make is you're using time to do it. You're using another measurement to refer back to that. So for me, I can run a kilometer. That's about 5 minutes of jogging. I'm fat. Why you got to be that way? I'm fat and I'm old.
You sure they're not running because they think that's really fast?
You think that's fast? That's not that fast. My exchange student last year can run a kilometer in 2.8 minutes, which is 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Is he sprinting?
No, that's his time on a 10K. He can run a 10K in 28 minutes. My exchange student last year, yeah. 10K in 28 minutes.
Jogging or like?
Well, that's his speed that he runs a 10K at. I run a 10K in 50 minutes. So 5 minutes of running is 1 kilometer.
So for us, like, what do you think the average time would be?
I don't know, because I don't teach phys ed. That's the whole point of reference. They matter to you.
Just put 4 minutes.
Right? Okay. Now, over here I've got relationship. Since it's the SI system, there's a number that we start at. What number there do we start at?
I don't know, maybe 10.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said number. Which unit do we start at? Nope. Meter, because everything counts on the meter, right? So this is our base. A kilometer is how many? 1,000. 1,000 times the base. What's a centimeter? 1/100th of the base. And what's a millimeter? 1/1000th of the base. Now, I did tell you there's other metric measurements. Milli, centi, right here there's another one. Deci. And that's 1/10. And going upwards, there's 2. There's deca, D-E-C-A. That's 10 times. And then there's hecto, which is 100 times. Now, we use hecto kind of in Canada for area of land. You guys have all of BC was on fire this summer. If you watch the news, it told you how many hectares was burning. That's the only real use we have for that in Canada.
Hectares are like square hectometers.
It's 100 meters by 100 meters. That's a hectare. It's a square that is that big. That's our use of hecto in Canada. And they do use hectares in Europe. Yeah, a soccer field is a certain amount of hectares. Everybody cool? All right. Now, let's do some imperial. Blah. Barf.
How about let's not say anything?
Why are we breaking?
Because Imperial is stupid. What are the 4 reference? Go. You guys fill them in. Go. Same thing you did for metric, but do it for...
Thumb? No.
It's your referent, Ariana. What do you think? All right. Who has one for an inch?
So wait, Americans, instead of using meters, they use yards?
Yep.
Ooh.
Zach. Yeah, that's a good one. For me, it's exactly my thumb tip to join. For me, on my short little stubby fingers. Right? But if I was, a basketball player that could palm a basketball, my hand would be bigger and it wouldn't work. So for me, it's first joint of thumb.
You can't really get a reference for a mile or a yard.
What's a foot? This is a tricky one. It's a foot. Again, my foot is, in my shoe, is that much short of being an actual foot. So if I want to measure something, I can guess it by going heel, toe, heel, toe. That's a tricky one, the foot. What's a yard?
It's pretty much a meter.
It's pretty much a meter. So if, for me, it's a step, what's my yard guess? A step. One kid in the other class, I say, what's your reference for a meter? He says, a yard. Then I get to yard. I say, what's your reference for a yard? A meter. Like, okay, wise ass. And a mile? How many of you know how big a mile is? I'm interested to see. Giovanni?
1 kilometer.
Giovanni? No, that's kilograms and pounds. Nope. 1.6. Now, 1.6 is a pain in the ass number to estimate, right? So when I estimate it, I say it's 1.5 kilometers. So if I need 5 minutes to run a kilometer, I need 7.5 minutes to run a mile. For me. I know, I'm fat. Stop it. Right? It's embarrassing enough already. See, I'm bearing my soul to you guys. You guys are making fun of me. Now, what is wrong with these 4 boxes in Imperial? Is there a base? No, there's nowhere to start. And even if we did have somewhere to start, would it go up in tens? No. If we start at an inch, 1 inch, which abbreviates as 1 with quotation marks. Now, if the imperial system made sense, a foot should be 10 inches, shouldn't it? But of course it isn't. What is it? 12.
Who the heck came
1
up with this?
foot, which equals 1 with with an apostrophe, and that equals 12 inches. Okay, it's 12, fine. That must mean a yard, which is 1 yard equals 3 feet. If this system made sense, right?
It would be like
1 yard should be some version of 12, shouldn't it? But it's not, it's 3.
technically it is the version of 12 if you divide it by 4.
Good morning, staff and students. Your morning announcement.
Inches.
For Wednesday, September
And a
5th.
mile,
PE leadership.
1,760 yards,
Please come right
5,280 feet.
Any students enrolled in media broadcasting, please check in with Mr. Fedley in A305.
Don't
anytime this week.
memorize
First
these.
media broadcasting class will take place.
I'll give you a chart.
In A305.
You have homework.
For any students interested in playing on the senior boys soccer team
This,
year, trials will begin
I want an
Thursday,
estimate
October
of all those things
See Mr. Fedley
in both
A305
systems,
instruction.
and
Senior and junior girls volleyball.
I will give a gummy bear to anybody who can tell me how long
Yearbook staff, if
is a meter?
If you're thinking of joining, please come to the library conference room.
I deliberately have written the question that way. I will give a gummy bear tomorrow to somebody who can tell me how long a meter is.
Students attending the bar on the beach.
I guarantee you, Zach, I won't be giving out many gummy bears. Because if you think the answer is as simple as you think it is now, you don't know me very well.
What if we just look it up when we get home?
You looked something up and learned something? You horrible person. Why do you think I said it, Ariana? Now you will all go look it up and learn something. Yep. That. Tomorrow. No, it's not a different spelling.
Yeah, it is.
No. Have good days, everyone. See you sometime tomorrow because I still don't understand the new timetable.
If you tell me the answer,
block then.
I'll give you my gummy bear.
I supply the gummy bears. I can have as many gummy bears as I want. I'll see you at some time tomorrow, everyone. When are you guys here tomorrow? Oh, afternoon tomorrow. See you tomorrow afternoon, right after lunch. Right after lunch. Oh, you guys are grade 10s are, I've got it right here. I've got it right here. Grade 10s are block D right after lunch. You're going to miss math. There's paper towel there to dry your tears on the way out, Vanessa.
I'm fine.
That's hurtful. You can pretend. At least shake your shoulders like you look like you're crying now.
Hi.
Hey, Jeremy.
I looked it up and all the top Google results say a meter or meter, and both spelling is 100 centimeters.
But that's not right.
So what's the difference?
Because a centimeter is 1/100th of a meter. If you can't tell me how long a meter is, you don't know how long a centimeter is. Right? Somebody had to decide how long a meter is before they could divide it into centimilli, right? I want to know how long.
I have to find out the origin.
That's what I said. How
Okay.
long is a meter?
Okay, I'll go find out the origin.